Happy New Year, my friends. This is my first video for 2025, and I thought it would be fun to share with you what my family has been up to from the time that I posted my last video, which was the day after Christmas, to now, as we have completed the 12 days of Christmas officially by celebrating Theophany and Epiphany earlier this week on January 6th. It was my daughter's name day, so in honor of her patron saint, we decided to celebrate the life of her saint by honoring her after our morning prayers and praying a hymn, the Kontakion, which talks a little bit about the life that her patron saint lived. Afterwards, we put her icon on display so that we could all venerate it and keep her in mind throughout the day. Later, my parents joined us and we listened to the Synaxarion, or the reading, essentially, of the life of the saint. And we had my daughter blow out a candle and we celebrated with homemade banana bread. And then we read together from the book 101 Orthodox Saints, the story of her patron saint. So it's just a really beautiful, simple, special way to honor her patron saint. We've been experiencing a very wet winter. We haven't had a lot of snow, and the snow that we do have tends to melt. It doesn't really stick. So my kids have been sorely disappointed because winter is their favorite holiday. So it actually snowed up in the mountains. So we decided to take advantage of that and drive up a couple of hours. And we had such a beautiful time playing in the snow together. After spending time out in the snow, we decided to warm up by going to a little coffee shop that is right on the lake that we were at. And it was such a cute spot for us to just refresh and take a breather. My kids were very excited to get their own cup of hot chocolate with whipped cream. That's been their favorite treat this season. All they want is hot chocolate, and I think it has something to do with watching the Polar Express. But it was just a really quaint spot for us to enjoy. As you can see, this lake is absolutely stunning, and there weren't many people out and about this day. So for us, it turned out to be a great opportunity to have fun as a family without having to battle any crowds. It was incredibly scenic, and there's just something so special about snow covering the trees and having this thick white blanket of fresh snow everywhere that really makes the winter season stand out. Winter can be a tricky season to navigate. At the beginning of the holiday season, there's so much hope, and the home feels so cozy and lovely. It feels like there's this sudden shift after the holidays are over where the home doesn't quite feel as joyous, and the spark and excitement of winter starts to fade a little bit. It definitely helps having these snow days because snow makes everything look so beautiful and special and magical, and it gives us an opportunity to go outside. Even though it's cold, it provides an activity for our family to spend time together. All right, so now I'm going to let you into a little bit of real life. We still have our Christmas tree up in our home because we just finished wrapping up the 12 days of Christmas, and I really didn't have it in me to take it down right away. My kids begged to keep the tree up a little bit longer, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm in no rush to take it down. And I, at the same time, felt the urge to give the house a fresh, clean start. And there just came a point where it felt like we have so many decorations everywhere that are collecting dust, and it was just kind of getting in the way of all the normal housework that I do on a daily basis, that I felt like, okay, we've had our decorations up for about 2 months, and now it's time to step back and embrace the newness of the new year and give the house a good deep clean and refresh. So now I thought I'd share with you a really simple meal idea for those days that you're in a pinch and you need to come up with something quick for your family. So today I'm going to share with you my healthy version of Sloppy Joes. Now, I mentioned before in some of my previous videos that we bake our own bread, and I like to do that to make sure that I keep track of what ingredients are in our foods. We like to eat as healthy as we can. We've just become more aware of what is being put into our food, and so we're doing our best to try to make everything from scratch if we can. And I know it's not possible for everyone to do that, but that's kind of how we do things here as best as we can, obviously with exceptions and within reason. So the first thing I did was prep my meat, and I hadn't thawed any meat this day. So I went over to my freezer and pulled out 2 packages of ground beef. They're about a pound per package. And I added that to my pressure cooker, and I covered the meat with water. And then I set it for 45 minutes. And in the meantime, I prepped my vegetables. So I chopped up about half a cup of onions, and then a cup of carrots, and a cup of mushrooms. And when the meat was done, I strained the meat and I put it off to the side and began sauteing the vegetables. So once the vegetables became a little tender, I added in my ground beef, and I wanted to get some color on it to bring out some flavor. And I added about a cup or 2 of tomato sauce. You can use diced tomatoes if you want, or crushed tomatoes. I just happen to have some tomato sauce or marinara sauce on hand, and truthfully, anything with tomato will work. So I added that in and stirred it all together, and I wanted to make sure that the meat and the vegetables combined well with the tomato sauce so that it would become thick and we would lose a little bit of that liquid from the tomatoes. I added some salt to season, and that's pretty much it. This was a really simple recipe. I think it took about an hour long total between having the meat cook in the pressure cooker and then, the 10 or 15 minutes it took to saute and serve up the meat on our homemade bread. I'll post the recipe below in the description for my favorite bread. We tend to make rolls out of this bread, and they make also for delicious hamburger buns. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to follow along. It means so much to me that you're here, and I hope that you have a blessed week.